welcome to episode 1 of the Salapaloosa Knits podcast. This is going to be a knitting podcast with a little bit of crochet as well, and some yarn dyeing and some designing, and I should probably apologise in advance for any potential rambling, but I hope you'll bear with me. I am Elizabeth and I come to you from the beautiful city of Bergen in the western part of Norway, where I live with my amazing boyfriend, and I am currently working on finishing off my degree in corporal and organisational psychology. If you want to get in touch with me, feel free to do that. I am Salapaloosa on Ravelry. Yes, that's right, Salapaloosa on Ravelry. I am Salapaloosa Knits on Instagram, where I am most active, and you can also pop me an email at salapaloosa@gmail.com. As I said, I am Norwegian, and a lot of Norwegians knit. A lot of Norwegians knit. We are basically born with skis on our legs and knitting needles in our hands, and I learned to knit from my grandmother, who is an amazing knitter, and she would reward me with a caramel for every row that I finished, which was just the most amazing form of positive reinforcement, and it worked like a charm. And I learned to knit when I was rather young. I was probably about 4 or something like that, and I loved it, and I've always been a very crafty and creative person, and for some reason that part of me has been put aside a little bit, I guess, and probably a year ago I discovered the online knitting community, and that was probably when my knitting just took off and went from being a hobby to almost a bit more of a lifestyle, I'd say. And yeah, I've really wanted to be part of some sort of knitting community, but I do find that Scandinavians and Norwegians in particular is quite reserved, and it's not very easy to get in touch with people, even if they are sort of like-minded and have the same interests as you. So I thought that maybe I could join the lovely world of podcasters and the brilliant online community, and yeah, see how that goes, and maybe get in touch with some new lovers of knitting, I guess. Yes, so I'm thinking that this first episode would probably, I'm going to try to keep it sort of short and sweet, and yes, we'll take it from there. And we're going to start off with a couple of whips. I am a chronic sufferer of starchitis, so I do tend to have a lot of things on the needles at all times. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know how many projects I've got on the needles right now, but there are always a couple of sweaters, some baby knits, some accessories, a couple of socks, and sometimes a couple of crochet animals and toys and stuff like that. So yeah, I keep busy, and I'm going to show you a couple of them, and then we'll take it from there, and hopefully you'll stick around and you can see them all in time. So let's get on to the whips. The city that I live in, Bergen, is just notoriously famous for being extremely rainy. It rains several hundred days a year. I think it's probably about somewhere between 200 and 300 days every year it rains, and it doesn't just rain, it pours, and that means that the city itself is very green. There is a lot of trees, and it's very beautiful. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely hit the Google search button and look it up, because it's a very beautiful old city, and it's surrounded by mountains and the sea, and yes, it's just beautiful. But yes, we do have the rain, and this June was record-breaking in the amount of rain that we had in the month of June, and because of that I feel like the fall pretty much started around May, June, somewhere around that. So I have been just craving sweaters and garments and big socks and yes, all that nitty goodness. So I have been working on a couple of sweaters and some just autumn accessories. So I'm going to show you one of the sweaters today, and that is the Garnsurr, the Solveig sweater, and it is a design collaboration between Hanneli and Sandnes yarn. And this is the gorgeous sweater right there. As you can see, it's just cables galore, really. I'm gonna see if I can just pop up another picture for you. Yes, here we go. This is it. How gorgeous is that? And this is also the colour that I'm knitting it in. I'm gonna grab it. So I finished the front piece. Are you ready? Here we go. So this entire front piece is just completely covered in cables, and it's just this intense fiery bright red, and I can't wait to have it finished, to wear it. And oh, there are a couple of loose live stitches here. That's not good. I'm just gonna fold this gently and put it aside for a little bit. And yeah, so I have started on the back piece as well. We have gotten this far, and the back piece is just the exact same as the front piece. And I'm really loving this pattern. It's just a bunch of different cables going through it. We have one set of cables here, we have another cable here, we have a third cable there, we then have this big lovely piece right here. I think that's a stag cable or something like that. Then we have this thin one going down there, and then we're at the in the middle, and then it's mirrored on the other side. And I do love cables. I absolutely love cables. I love the look of them. I do like working on a cable project, but I must say that it takes a lot of time, and I am a notorious product knitter, is that right? I think so. Although I do love the process of working on this, I just can't wait to have it finished. And the best motivation for me to get a project off the needles is usually that I need the needles that are on that project for another project that I want to cast on. So yes, that's how we do it. Anyways, for this project, the yarn I am using, I'm just gonna grab this out of my little yarn basket here, is this one. It's called Hanneli and it is produced by Sandnes garn. It is very soft. It's 100% merino, but it is a one ply, and it's gonna pill. I've just gotten used to the thought of that, and it's probably gonna pill a lot, because a one ply for a garment isn't all that great. A one ply for a sweater is gonna just pill like crazy. But I do have one of those little electrical pill remover thingies. Don't know what they're called, but I do have one of those, so I'm thinking that it's probably going to be alright, and I don't mind really. I put so much work into making this sweater, and that there's a little bit of maintenance doesn't really bother me that much, and yeah, it's just a great yarn, and I think that the sweater is going to be amazing. I'm just envisioning this with sort of a burgundy leather skirt or something like that. I think it's going to, I think I'm going to wear it a lot, and it's going to be the perfect, just cabley, warm, cuddly autumn sweater. So I'm excited about that. I just need to get on with it. And I actually started this sweater late December, I think maybe the day before New Year's, and I knit the front piece quite quickly. I was super motivated and super excited about working on it, but then spring came and I just really wanted something a bit more portable, and to be honest, I was getting a little bit sick of all the cabling, so I put it aside, and I probably put it aside for a little bit too long, and yeah, it's about time that it gets some love, and I am planning on doing that because I really want to wear this sweater. I want it to be finished. I am knitting this on Hiya Hiya sharps. It is the size 7 US needle and a 4.5mm needle. The Hiya Hiya sharps are my absolute favourite needle. I love them. I love the cable. It's soft, it's flexible, it doesn't kink or break. The joints are super smooth and they are sharp. I have more than once poked my index finger with one of these needles, and I have screamed out loud from the pain of it, and I just taped the finger and I kept on knitting, and with the same needles I don't care. I'm using the Hiya Hiya sharps come hell or high water. These are my go-to needles. I do love testing different needles, and that might change, but at this point these are my all-time favourite. I love them. I will say, however, that with a one ply yarn, with this sharpness, this happens quite a lot. They do tend to sort of split the yarn a little bit, Or I shouldn't say that, I shouldn't blame the Hiya Hiyas. I'm the one splitting the yarn, aren't I? It's not their fault. I shouldn't blame the Hiya Hiyas, that's not fair. I split the yarn. The one ply yarn using my Hiya Hiyas is my fault. I know. I'm sorry. Yes, so that's that. I'm just going to take a little bit of a sip of coffee right here, because, you know, that's what you do. Alrighty. The next project that I want to show you is the Purl Soho Brioche Cowl, and it is a pattern by Purl Soho, and it's just this really simple two-coloured brioche cowl, and I've never done brioche before, but I saw all these amazing brioche projects that everyone was doing, and just the glorious Dyeworks patterns, and you know, so what should a girl do? You know, you need to learn to brioche. So I tried to YouTubing a little bit, and I did find some pretty good tutorials, but what really got me going was the what's she called? Nancy Marchant, I think. Is that how you say it? Marchant? Yeah, I think so. Anyways, the Nancy Marchant craftsy class on brioche. It's really, really good. She is just so lovely, and she definitely, I mean, if anyone can teach you to brioche, it's Nancy Marchant. And I do think that that's who taught Stephen West as well, so you know, that's pretty much everything you need to know, isn't it? So enough blabber, I'm going to show you. I've not gotten very far, but all things considered, I don't think it's very bad. Oh, just popped up off the cable stop, needle stop. Let's just a second. There we go. Alright, so here we have it. This is the Purl Soho Brioche Cowl. It's two colours, and this is the front side, and this is the back. I haven't gotten very far, as you can see, but I really, really love it. I love working on it. I love the colours. I love just exploring the whole brioche scene and learning something new, and you know, you just have to jump into it. I would probably describe myself as a bit of an adventurous knitter. I don't really think too much about what is difficult. I just take it one stitch at a time and just pretty much jump into it. If I want to knit it, I'm going to figure out how to do it. So that's what I did with this, and it's turning out quite alright, I'd say. It's so soft and thick and squishy. For the yarn, I am using a yarn by Drops. It is the Drops Alpaca, and here's the first one. It's just this lovely mild sort of green, grey, blue, yellowish colour. The colour is just numbered. It's 7323, and it is a 4-ply sport weight yarn. And here is the second one, which is also a Drops Alpaca yarn. I love that little alpaca logo, it's so cute. And this colour is called 7240. So yes, here we have it. I think that these two really complement each other and I love working with them. I am working on 2 strands of each yarn. So a sport weight double, is that a worsted or Aran weight, I think? So it is quite plump and thick and lovely. The yarn is really soft. It's quite I don't know what to call it. It's just really soft basically, and I do love the fabric that the Brioche creates with this yarn. I think it's going to be lovely to wear in the autumn when the chill comes in the early mornings. So I'm really looking forward to having this finished as well, but with this project I'm really enjoying the process of it. I thought that the brioche, if you don't know how to do it, it just seems really daunting, and I mean if you look at a brioche chart, that is just ridiculous. It looks so difficult, and I was actually a little bit surprised as to how easy it actually is if you know how to do it, and just the rhythm of it is quite comforting almost. It's very soothing to work with, and I just really think it's just so lovely to knit in brioche, and I am definitely hooked. I just want to brioche all the things now, you know, and you know, thinking about Stephen West patterns and yeah, you know how it goes. I'm sure you're already there. I don't know how to increase though, and I don't know how to do decreases, because as just a completely beginner brioche knitter, I just thought that I should keep it simple and just jump into the increasing and decreasing as I gained a little bit more brioche confidence, if you will. So I am excited about learning that, and I will be looking for some patterns that would be a good number 2 brioche project. I am also using the Hiya Hiya sharps on this project. I'm knitting it on the US size 4, which is a 3.5mm needle, and the sharpness of the tips really work well with the brioche. I think it's quick and smooth and just so easy to do, and the needles just make the fabric move really easily, and that's been a huge help, I feel like. But there is a little bit of a mistake here, and this is just ridiculous. It's not even a brioche mistake. The brioche, I'm quite confident about the brioche. I don't think, I just spotted a mistake just as I was going to say that. We have a loose strand happening right there. Is that the only one? It appears to be the only brioche mistake on this project, but there is another just ridiculous mistake. This has a lot of this has a lot of stitches on it, and the cable was a little bit too short really. It does just bulk up like crazy, and I was being so careful in the first rounds to make sure that it wasn't twisted, that the joint wasn't twisted. So what happened? I don't know what happened. I have no idea, but somehow it has twisted. And I did notice this quite early on, but I just thought that, you know what, we're going to call it a design feature. It's not a mistake. I'm choosing to make this design feature swirl, and I convinced myself that that was a really good idea for quite a while, I'd say. This has taken me a little bit of time to do this, but now I'm sort of second guessing it, because it is going to be quite thick and big, and I don't know if that's going to look the way that I thought it would. I just thought that that would look sort of, that it would just sort of enhance the aesthetic of the fabric with the sort of twist, and that that would look really nice in a cowl, that it would sort of move in a way, but I don't know anymore. I'm thinking that maybe I should start this over and just consider this some sort of warm-up brioche. I don't know. It might be just too bulky to work with that sort of twist in it, and just too big. What do you have any advice for me here? What are your thoughts? I would love to hear it. Should I frog it, or should we just keep going and call it a design feature and not a mistake? For now, the jury's out on that one. Please do give me some feedback. I would love to know. I think that maybe that's going to be it for the whips, and then we can save some for the next episode, and you can come back if you are curious about them. They are very good. Yeah. What else? What else? Yeah, by the way, if you are new to the whole online knitting community podcaster scene, you may not know this, but a whip is a work in progress. I was incredibly confused when I heard all these words like FOs and whips, and yeah, I didn't understand anything, and I was so annoyed that nobody ever explained what it meant. So if you are wondering, that was my whips, my works in progress. And now we are going to move on to a little FO, which is a finished object. Yes, well, on that note, just a small, I'm just going to spin off here for a second, because on that note, I heard, you know, there's this amazing designer, if you don't know, who's called Joji Locatelli, and she is amazingly brilliant. Her patterns are just works of art, and she is a knitwear designer. If you haven't heard of her, you need to look up her patterns on Ravelry. She is amazingly talented. But when I first started watching all the knitting podcasts, I heard everyone saying this name, Joji Locatelli, Joji Locatelli, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out how you wrote that. I kept searching for like H-O-H-Y and all these insane sort of ways of spelling it before I started writing, and I was just absolutely flabbergasted. I just couldn't figure it out. So if you're wondering, it's J-O... Oh god, I don't know anymore. I'm going to look it up, and then I'm going to put it in the show notes. I'm thinking it is J-O-J-I, but I'm just gonna, yes, J-O-J-I-L-O-C-A-T-E-L-L-I, yes, L-L-I. So, sorry about that little bit of rambling, but it's not always easy to get the audio across to the written, well, yeah, something like that. anyways, just a little sip here before we get onto the FOs. So, since this is the first episode, I'm thinking that I'm only going to show you one FO because you haven't really been in on the process of all the things, and I can just show you some at a time and spread it out a little bit. And the FO I'm going to show you is a crochet project, and you may already have seen it. It's this little guy over here. He is so stinking cute. Look at that face. This is the Mr. Luiwood amigurumi bear, and it's the Mr. Luiwood, what's it called? Well, it's the small one anyways. He is just so adorable, and look at his little tail on his bum. How cute is that? I think that he is so precious. I just love him. And yes, it's the Mr. Luiwood teddy. This is the smaller size. I know that there's two sizes. This is the small one, and it's a pattern by Luiwood Handmade. You can get it on Etsy, maybe on Ravelry, I'm not sure. I got it from Etsy, and yes, it's amigurumi teddy. She has tons of wonderful crochet patterns, and this one just really caught my eye. I thought he was adorable, and I just really wanted to make one. And now I'm thinking that I want just a battalion of these little bears. Just a big Mr. Luiwood family in different colours. And sorry, I also really want to make another one and put sort of a rattle box inside of it. You know, that's the ones that are in baby toys, so that when you move it, he would make a little rattling or bell sounds. I think that that would probably be the only thing that could take him onto another cuteness level. He is, just look at that face one more time. I think he's great. And the pattern was extremely well written. It was so simple and easy to understand. And I am in no means an avid crocheter, but I had no problems figuring it out. I made him in a couple of hours. It was super simple, and if you are an avid crocheter, I'm sure you would make him a lot faster than that. But I thought that that was pretty fast, and I was super pleased with the way he turned out. It has very clear instructions on how to put on his little face, which I really appreciate, because that really is the hardest part about amigurumi, I think, to make the face look good and not sort of creepy, because just a little bit too big, if the eyes are just a little bit too big or a little bit too spaced apart or something like that, they just look really, really creepy, I think. And I think that this guy looks good, if I may say so myself, and that is pretty much all because of the well-written pattern. So I highly recommend it, absolutely recommend it. I've been using the Drops Saffron yarn, which is 100% Egyptian cotton, and I did find it to be a little bit easy to split the yarn with the crochet needle, the crochet hook, but it wasn't really a big problem. I like making these in a natural fabric because they usually, children will play with them, and yeah, I like that it's all natural and sort of organic like that. Yes, so we're just gonna pop him right over here again, our little mascot there, and a little bit more coffee, and we are moving on to some acquisitions. Oh, that's some good coffee. So, some acquisitions. I am so excited about these. I received a pink package in my mailbox the other day. It was this beautiful baby bright pink envelope, and I wasn't quite sure what it was, but I knew it was something good. You don't really get a pink envelope in the mail without the content being good. So I got super excited already, and then I realized what it was, and I just ripped that thing open like there was no tomorrow, because I got my very first set of Sucre miniatures stitch markers. And sorry if you for some reason have not heard of the Sucre miniatures, you need to go to sucreminiatures.com right, or maybe not right now, you can do it after we're finished, but definitely pop on over to Sucre Miniatures and take a look at these amazing stitch markers. Chelsea is the maker behind them, and she is so amazing and so down to earth and humble, and I'm super excited to be able to support her art and her craft. And yes, I'm gonna show you. These are polymer clay stitch markers, and they are glorious. First out, we have this little guy. It is a little, can you see that? Oh, please focus. It's a little avocado. Keep popping my face out there, sorry. It's a little avocado. Anyways, the level of detailing on these are just brilliant. The outer part is really sort of rugged, like the avocados are, and the stone is so detailed, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and I'm just so impressed, and I can't wait to put this guy on a project and being able to work with it. I think it's going to just speed up my knitting immensely, because this is so motivating and it makes me so happy. Next we have a little coffee mug. It's a little to-go cup. Again, it's really detailed and so beautiful. It really is just the most adorable little thing. And we have one more, and this really is the icing on top. We have carrot cake. I really hope that you're able to see the texture on this. It just absolutely looks like a piece of cake. There's this little carrot on top, a double of whipped cream, and I get some nuts or something on the side. It's just, it looks so good. I'm so excited. I just think that he's the cutest little thing. These are basically all my favourite foods. Cake, coffee and avocados, you know, just the foods for champs really. And I can't wait to put them on my knitting and to see them every time I pass them by. This carrot cake, it literally makes me hungry just looking at it. It looks so real. It does really look like a miniature piece of glorious carrot cake. For the level of detailing on these, there is a little part that was somewhat surprising to me, because the eyelet pin that goes into the polymer clay and the lobster clasp, that's this baby right here, they don't really match. The metal on this one is very pink, almost like a rosé, and this one is a very yellow sort of colour. And I was a little bit surprised by that, just because the Sucres are just amazingly detailed and well put together, but it doesn't really bother me. I don't care about it. They are absolutely brilliant, and if you have the possibility to get some, you really should. I mean, come on, they're gorgeous, glorious, absolutely. Okay, so next up we have a little bit of yarn for you, for me really, but I'm going to show you and share it with you. The amazing Amy Edwards Green, who's the fibre artist behind Stranded Dyeworks, great yarn and fibre dyed in Great Britain. She just launched her new website. It's strandeddyeworks.co.uk. It looks great, and Amy, congratulations. That's, you know, just amazing. And yeah, she is super talented, and I was so pleased to pop into her shop on the night of the website launch, and I put a couple of skeins in my basket, but I was someone, what's it called, something hijack, cart jack, I don't know, somebody got to the checkout before I did, and I lost some of the skeins to another very lucky person, but I did get another one. I have not received that yet, so I'm sure it's right around the corner, but I did have a little, I have another one that I got last week. You need to sit down if you're standing up, because this is so beautiful you might fall down or just faint from looking at it. That's your warning right there. That's an official Salapaloosa warning. You need to take that serious. Are you ready? Here we go. This is the Stranded Dyeworks on the Koi colorway. The yarn is a 80-10-10 superwash merino nylon cashmere, and it's called Paradise. The base is called Paradise, and it's just the most soft and plump and gorgeous thing. I can't stop looking at it. This thing has literally been on my living room table just for a week probably, just lying there so I could look at it and just enjoy it, admire it. It just makes me smile every time. I just want to squish it on my face, and I think that this skein just deserves a shrine. I should probably put it on my mantelpiece. I'm sitting in front of the fireplace. It's not on. we're going to put it right there. That's just, it deserves that. It's 425 meters. That is, no, sorry, it's 400 meters. It's 437 yards. So that is quite a good amount of yarn. I'm not sure what to do with it yet. I might just leave it there, put a frame on it, some candles around it, and, you know, just create a little shrine like that, because I love it so much, and it just deserves all the love. And Amy has so many amazing colorways. Her yarn is so beautiful, and do stop by her shop and support her if you are looking for some hand-dyed yarn. Yeah, pretty much it. Like I said, I'm not quite sure what to do with it. It's the perfect sock yarn, so it might be something like that. I might use it for a bit of a secret design project that will be coming up, but I'm not quite sure. It might also work amazingly in a shawl, so we'll see. Next up, I want to show you a little skein that I got the other day, and this is also really exciting. I'm going to talk a little bit about it before I show you, because it's just a really cool concept. So first of all, the brand is called Garnsurr, Garnsurr, and that means yarn mess. This is a Norwegian company, and they are in just this tiny place in Norway called Numedal, and they have a company that is sorry, it's a hand dyeing social integration company for refugee women, and they dye yarn. The refugee women, they dye yarn, they learn to knit while they learn to speak Norwegian. And I mean, that is just the most amazing thing. I'm not going to get all political on you, I know that's not why you're here, but I just think that that is such a lovely thing, and the yarn is gorgeous, so that just makes it all the more fun, really. And okay, enough of the rambling, enough of the backstory. I'm just going to show you this lovely thing right about now. Here we go. So this is it. Nice and easy here. So you can see all of this gloriousness right here. It's hard to describe this colorway. I feel like it's this sort of neutral. I'm just gonna dress it, take its clothes off for a little bit and show you some of these speckles here. It's this sort of lavender grey neutral colour with pops of bright neon green and bright neon pink, and it's so interesting to look at. I haven't really seen anything quite like it before. Just look at this intense green in there. I just hope that the colour comes through on the camera, that you can see just how insane this is. Look at that. It's so gorgeous. It's just so gorgeous. And here we have a little bit of deeper shades of purple in there. It's so beautiful. I love it. This base is called Skrantin merino, and it is a 100% superwash merino yarn. It is 366 meters, and yes, another thing about this that is quite cool is the name of the yarns. Like I said, they dye the yarn in a small place in Norway that's called Numedal, and they have this really interesting dialect, and Norwegian has a lot of different dialects, and the language just sounds quite different based on where you are in the country. So this dialect is quite interesting, and they have a lot of really old dialect words that are sort of been starting to die out a little bit. So they have used those names to name their yarn. I'm sorry, those words to name their yarn. These really old dialect words that are sort of being lost really in their newer generations, and I think that that is just lovely that they do that. It's because it's just cultural heritage really, and I love that they try to keep that alive. And so that is one of the names, and then the other name is the Somali word that means the same thing as the Norwegian dialect word. So this skein is called Marisup and caano. And Marisup is a really old Numedal word, and it means fresh milk. And caano or caano, I don't know, but that word C-A-A-N-O, it means fresh milk in Somali. So it's really nice. I think that that is so clever and charming and just very, very nice. I think that, so don't arrest me if I'm wrong, but I do think that this may be available at Do You Knit. I know that they have had a couple of skeins of it. If they still do, I'm not quite sure. But check it out and follow them on Instagram and visit their website, which is garnsurr.no. So this word, Garnsurr, it means yarn mass. I'm not 100% sure what to do with it yet. I just feel like these colours would be the most amazing socks, but it is 100% superwash merino. So what I've been thinking is that maybe I should grab some reinforcement yarn. This is just some plain old reinforcement yarn by Regia. It's the colour 002, and I think that that actually might be quite nice. You can see that. I think they look rather well together, and that just works. So I might do that and use this one for the heels and toes, and you know, I could have my superwash super fresh milk socks. How they got that name I have no idea, because I've never had fresh milk that looked anything like this neon green, thank the heavens. But I do love the wordplay and the cultural heritage thing, and yeah, everything about it really. So I'm really excited about testing this, and I will let you know when I do. Yes, I think that that's all of the acquisitions that we're going to go through today, and we're probably going to have a couple ones next episode as well. So I think we're probably going to wrap this thing up right about here. I was planning on keeping this really short, just as a sort of an introductory thing, but I feel like I've been rambling on for a really long time. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for hanging in there with me. If you are still watching, sorry about the excess rambling, and I hope this wasn't too sort of all over the place. And please feel free to hit the subscribe button and pop in for the next episode. And yes, I will see you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.